Slayer Truth, Strongholds Plaza, CTF Fathom, and Slayer Plaza. Kyle, what are your thoughts here? What are you predicting here on this series?
Mike, you're throwing me on the spot here with a team that we have no history of, with no idea how they're going to be able to come out and perform on this stage. Now, taking a look at these two squads, Renegades, extremely experienced, going up against a team that has never had the opportunity to play in this environment. So this is going to be real testing for them, and wouldn't be surprised if they have a lot of pregame jitters here, a little kind of disorganized off the start of the game, but by the end of this series, I expect these guys to be swinging in full force.
All right, well, let's get right into the action here. First to 3 caps wins. We're kicking things off with APG from the Renegade side. He's making his way over towards the sniper. Looks like no player has picked that up just yet. Rockets are still up as well. So APG going down to Faffy here. So we're gonna, this is gonna be an interesting game. This is where we figure out how good this team is from Colombia. Yeah. Are they gonna be able to take down this squad here in game number 1? Or is Renegades just going to make a clean sweep here?
Well, I mean, it's definitely a lot on the line for both these guys. An opportunity for Usual Suspects to show what they're made of and how they can compete at this level with all of these European and North American teams. But for Renegades as well. Ace hitting that no-scope. 2 shots here left in the sniper now. They've got a lot to prove. These guys have been on some serious big-name rosters with amazing placings for all of them.
But look at this. They're still trapped inside their base. You've got Usual Suspects putting on a lot of pressure, playing so aggressive right now. But you'll see 3 players from Usual Suspects go down, and the last player playing this. I like this play, taking it slow, playing it patient. But you see a player get taken right off spawn, and what a spot there from Neptune. What a spot finding that player hiding.
Yeah, but what are we seeing now here? Ace with a flagpole. He's picked up a couple snipes, made his way off of spawn over into Usual Suspects base, and now that flag already past 50-yard line. Looks like nobody in position to contest this, and just like we said, Mike, they might start off strong, but there's going to be a lot of communication and organization they need to work on, and this is a big test for them. And like I said, by the end of this series, I expect us to see a lot more from them.
And look at this. This is back-to-back flag caps here. Lunchbox was on the flag stand, ready to have flag cap number 2 going. That's 2-0 now, and Ace is already back in the base. You saw them going for 3. But they are going to be stopped there. Nade takes down Ace. Let's see if they're going to be able to rally back, though. Usual Suspects, they were playing incredible there off the rip of the game. They had a lot of aggression, but now they're getting caught off guard, and you're seeing Renegades really just outslay these players left and right now. Lunchbox gets hit by the melee, but he is going to back down. Look at the kill feed. That's going to be 2 down for Usual Suspects. Again, make that 3 down, and Ace, he's got the rockets.
Yes, he does. He's taking shots from 2 players. Throws one guy out of zoom. Great job. Amazing teamwork here coming out of Renegades, and Ace is able to secure those rockets. Great shots once again. That's putting damage down on 3 separate players, and it's got to be a little scary here for Usual Suspects as this collapse is coming in very quickly.
They're going for kills. Ace taken down. Definitely a clutch kill there from the Usual Suspects side to stop that flag initiation from happening right now. Over to No Pro Angel fighting a 1v1, trying to spot that player to finish him off. That sniper is coming up right now. If Usual Suspects can get their hands on this and potentially get a flag moving, they'll maybe be able to use this to get that first flag cap on the board.
Right now, Usual Suspects, win or lose this game, they just want to extend it. They need to get some more warm-up under their belts. They need to, I'd love to see these guys, what they can do with the power weapons, what kind of control they have, but just like you said, Mike, not looking good. Lunchbox moving this one already.
And that's going to be it. Lunchbox going in untouched, capping flag number 3.
Is that a goose?
Was that a sigh of a goose there?
I don't know.
We're about to find out, but
in a minute. Yeah, I see some smiles, some laughs. I think that can only mean one thing here from their point of view. And Mike, unfortunately, we did have the first goose pop up here in MLG Orlando here during the qualifier, and that's what we were saying. Sometimes these pregame jitters, like you said, this is a team from Colombia coming out here to compete against Renegades, an amazing squad that all the pro teams are expecting a lot out of this event.
Well, definitely on the Renegades side, outslaying them left and right. You saw them get rockets, you saw them get sniper countless times, and yeah, at the beginning they might not have had too much control, but they did play some really good defense there at the start. And now we're going to see if Usual Suspects can kind of turn things around. Yeah, you had a player that goosed You're going up against players that have been competing for many, many years against the best. It's the first time. Honestly, I mean, it happens. It happens, and you got to move forward. It's your first time coming overseas all the way here. Like,
you can't. Some of these games are really quick. They might have had 2 gooses if they were able to capitalize on that third flag run. We almost had back-to-back flag runs and caps out of this Renegade squad. And I know there's been a lot of people part of that goose squad. You know, admittingly, I hit that the other day right after rock climbing. Was not the prettiest, not the proudest moment I've ever
rock
had.
Climbing in there? Is this an excuse?
It was my excuse. My forearms were sore, my hands were torn up, and I think Stellar was in my game.
Oh, man. No excuses.
No Play like a champion.
Play like a champ. Well, let's see if Usual Suspects are going to be able to turn this around, or if Renegades, they're just going to kind of stay on point and continue their steamroll here on Slayer Truth. You've got Camo at Pink 1, and we're going to see that comes up every 2 minutes once it is grabbed. Plasma Pistol up top as well. Kicking things off with Ace after a nice performance that last match, seeing if he's going to be able to continue where he left off.
Some shaky shots there, wasn't able to connect, but great teamwork here coming out of Usual Suspects. And that's one thing I noticed in that last game, watching everyone's point of views. They're still communicating, calling out, and listening to each other. There are a lot of one-shots on Renegades that were cleaned up and finished off, and unfortunately, one of the players wasn't able to finish off any of those kills here, but I expect him to bounce back here in game number 2.
All right, over to APG as they're trying to lock and locate this player underneath the base. He will be able to finish off a kill on Neptune. APG now trying to stay alive. That's going to be 2 down for both sides. APG moving over to get some control of Pink 2. He's got a player nearby that's going to be Ace. And you've got on the other side, I believe that's Neptune, moving in on top of the base already as well. So this is a 3-man push from Renegades as they are making their way. And we are still all tied up. So it was 7-7, 8-8. And these guys from Usual Suspects, they're hanging on here.
Yeah, I mean, they're actually in the lead right now. We'll see what happens after this battle. Ace comes out ahead, tie this one back up again, but it's just constant back and forth lead changes here that we're seeing. Great flank here, dropping below the base, gets a kill and an assist when the last player's alive, hiding in P2. Grenades clean up him, and Mike, this might be where we see Renegades start to pull away.
Yeah, you see a player from Renegades just at top mid, making that perfect push to Pink 2 as Ace kind of pushes him back inside of there. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. And look at this, they've just got them on a spawn rotation that heavily favors where Renegades is placed around the map. Spawning in bubbles, spawning in the base. You've got players from Renegades all over the map, and their teamwork is absolutely on point right now.
Yeah, I mean, look at APG. He was just working with Ace over towards car side of the base, made his way all the way up to car 2, and now helping his teammates over towards red 2. There's a lot of team history here between some of these guys. Neptune, of course, being the freshest member to the scene in general, really. But they are doing an amazing job at trapping Usual Suspects over in the bubbles and towards car 2. Makes it really easy to finish off these kills and get some just easy teamwork going as you see Neptune racks up a double kill.
And that camo is going to be up here in just a second, and I believe Lunchbox was able to pick that up as Neptune will go down, and another power-up going into the hands of Renegades. That's going to be 2. We're going to see a lot of focus towards that power-up throughout every single one of these games here, throughout the entire Halo World Championship Tour. And these things, they make a little bit of a difference. Even if you don't get the kill, if you're able to burn the camo, if you're able to just kind of keep it out of the other team's hands, it makes the biggest difference and can help your team win the game that much more.
And keep in mind, even though that this game 1 and now game 2 is looking like it's going to be kind of a steamroll blowout here, there's going to be a lot of learning to take away for Usual Suspects here. This by no means considers them out of the tournament. They have all the time in the world to kind of bounce back in this one game, you know, just kind of your first cash, your first time doing anything. Get that one under your belt, first time playing on main stage, and then of course you can take away, they'll be able to take away a lot from this game and expect to see drastic improvements here for their next series.
Yeah, well, you see Renegades just on point, just predicting the spawns and really just not letting Usual Suspects move right off the get-go. Now you see Usual Suspects slowly kind of getting control of the red base, and they're kind of pushing around here. Can he pick up this kill? Fighting a 1v1 battle, that player is going to go right back down to red 1. No Pro Angel will leave him and get beaten down by Neptune, fighting midair, but that's 3 down for Usual Suspects. Neptune has located that last player. Ace, he's flying in, and APG as well to finish off the kill. And just this teamwork you're seeing from Renegades right now, constantly on point, constantly working together. And usually you see teams work in pairs, but right now you're seeing Renegades work in 3- and 4-man groups, just pushing as an entire wolf pack.
Yeah, you're exactly correct. There's a lot of aggression from these players here. Mainly comes to mind APG and Lunchbox. They've been known to be those aggressors on their team with amazing shots, constantly sliding across the map, trying to help out their teammates at all costs here. And you can see once they have the right surrounding, kind of force with them here in Ace and Neptune, you're seeing them kind of feel really comfortable here.
Well, this looks like it's going to be all she wrote, as it's 49-14. You are going to see a very well done stake here as Renegades takes game number 2, going up 2-0 in the series. We do have one more game. This is best of 5. As Usual Suspects, they can potentially win game number 3. It's going to be tough, though, as looking at game number 2, they seem a little bit startled.
Yeah, I mean, I really just hope they don't get too down on themselves here. Like we said already in these first 2 games, it's their first time playing on main stage. They're going up against a top North American team who's already been known to dominate the scene so heavily throughout the last decade, really. So they need to just take this experience, put this loss behind them, and look forward towards the rest of the event.
It's kind of like going to your first tournament. The first tournament we went to.
Oh, we did terrible.
Yeah,
and we teamed.
I didn't know you were gonna bring it out like that, man. I was just gonna say it was similar to the first tournament, but here we go. Yeah, we did terrible.
I mean, Mike might have done that bad, but I don't think the whole series was like that. No, I mean, we had a great experience.
It was good.
But we bounced back. Second event we ever attended again. We went from top 128 to top 16.
It gave us that fire. We did pretty bad in that first tournament. I remember thinking, "There's no way I'm that bad at this game. There is no way."
It was our teammate.
Oh, man, the classic throwing the teammates under the bus. But let's take a look at the series layout. Here you saw Renegades take game number 1, 3-0, 50-14, Slayer Truth, what you just watched. And we're going into game number 3, Strongholds on Plaza. But I do want to just mention, back in that day, Philly 05, that was our first MLG tournament. And now we're here, many, many years later.
Back at MLG.
Back at MLG. Feels good. Feels good. You got active camo here at top middle. Spawns every 2, or not every 2 minutes. Once it's picked up, it'll spawn 2 minutes later. Let's kick things off again here with Ace. And actually, you know what? I want to see some of the players over on the other side. Let's check in with Usual Suspects here at the start of this match and see what they're going to be up to. We'll check in with Tolkien and see if he's going to be able to do anything here as he makes his way over towards the yard. No players here yet, so he's trying to just pick up this stronghold. Gets the shotty as well. Does have a teammate nearby, and see if they can work together to get this capture.
Ooh, and we'll see, he's got the shotgun in a 1v1 here with the APG, who does go ahead and grab that kill, but he's getting collapsed on very quickly. Shields do recharge, dodges the grenade, and a great job by Tolkien, picks up 2 kills. That's Ace being taken out immediately. Just opening up this game, you could see Usual Suspects, they are here for a reason, and they've performed well. They have a great team shot. As soon as, like we said, get some of those jitters out of the way, able to work on some of that teamwork, have the same game plan in mind, they have a lot of potential.
Without a doubt. I think the biggest thing they need to focus on is the aggression. They have to just be ready for Renegades to be coming flying through that doorway, flying across the map, because that's one of the biggest things. In Halo 5, these top teams, they play so fast, and you have to be ready for them at any moment. Even if 3 are down, sometimes that 4th player, he's going to come flying at you, because sometimes that's the last thing you're going to expect is a player come flying at you in that type of scenario.
Right, I mean, you can move across the map and get into position so quickly with thrust and slide and clamor here. You always have to be expecting that aggression, and for teams who don't have the same kind of practice regimen or don't get the same opportunities to improve through matching up and playing against teams that have that aggressive nature here, it takes a while to get used to.
Nice shots there from APG and Ace as they tag team a few players as they push into the yard, and they're right off spawn. You're seeing a player push in, and Ace and APG are constantly taking them out. It looks over, taking a look over on the Usual Suspect side. Would love to see them maybe slow it down just a little bit and just wait for that next teammate to spawn up. You got to be a little bit more patient, but it is a lot of pressure, and they are going to learn and take a lot from this.
Yeah, and as you can see, it is a triple cap here coming out of Renegades, so they are looking to end this series here very quickly. But what we're seeing now, a camo grab out of No Pro Angel here, but easily cleaned up here by the rest of the squad. They weren't focusing their attention on grabbing that power-up, but they are not letting Usual Suspects get away with anything right now.
Well, Renegades, as they continue their trip cap throughout this game, you'll see Yard slowly go right now as Lunchbox is trying to get across the map. Two players fly up to the sneaky, but they're gonna drop down immediately. Lunchbox fighting a player here down on the driveway. That's gonna be 2 down for Usual Suspects. Make that 3 down as APG hits the perfect, and Neptune with the ground pound. That's all 4 dead.
And now it's a scary moment because they're coming off spawn, but they're not spawning up at the same time. 2 to 4 seconds in between each one. So when that first member comes off spawn, he's gonna have 3 to 4 members of Renegades collapsing on him. That's where you see games really start to get out of hand, is when one team can rotate back and forth so quickly that you can never really get your footing in the game again.
Well, we did see Lunchbox only have 1 shot in that pistol, so we hopped over to Ace. He's got the shotty and the BR. 2 players poke out. He's gonna go down immediately. And let's see if Usual Suspects can use that kill to slowly make their push and get a little bit of control. But it looks like they're just getting trapped right now in Cafe.
And even the team nade.
Brutal. Absolutely brutal. But hey, on the other side, they were able to use that as a distraction and pick up Nest. So now if they can hold Nest and now push out, this is their opportunity. But
they got about half a second left to do that, and that's about GG all she wrote, Mike.